Today we're gonna talk about hi-hats, and specifically I'm gonna do a guide on both closed and open hi-hats. It's very important to note that hi-hats can make or break your bounce. Before we get to the hi-hat guide, let me show you the beat we are working with. It's very simple for the purpose of this tutorial, so let's get to the hi-hat guide. First things first, I'm gonna go to the pattern that I have chose to add my hi-hat, and I chose this sound right here. All the drums I use on my beats and on this tutorial are from my Sauce Drum Kit Volume 9, and it's currently on sale alongside with my Sauce Drum Kit bundle, so make sure you go to the link down below if you want to cop some of my kits. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is go to the piano roll, and I'm gonna go to snap to grid right here, and I'm gonna set it on line. I'm gonna zoom just a bit, and I'm gonna add this note right here and one more. I'm gonna copy and paste it, and we have the so-called two-step hi-hat pattern. And honestly, if you want to keep things simple for the artist to have more space to rap on, this is a very good starting point. Now what I'm gonna do to add some more bounce to this two-step hi-hat pattern is drag this section right here, and I have a more clearer view of my velocity, and I'm gonna take down every other velocity note. And as you will hear, it's gonna give a bit more bounce and realism to the hi-hat pattern. But honestly, this is too simple, so we are slowly gonna take things to the next level. To make this hi-hat pattern more interesting, we're gonna add hi-hat rolls, and there's two main ways to do that. The first one is probably the easiest, and what you wanna do is zoom in on the note you wanna add the hi-hat roll. In this case, I'm gonna go somewhere around here, because after that it is the snare that hits. So I decided to add a hi-hat roll right here. So what I'm gonna do is highlight this note with Control, and I'm gonna hit Alt and U. And now we have this chopper section right here, and if you switch this knob up or down, you're gonna create multiple rolls. Now going to the left creates more and more rolls, and this is what we actually want, because these two right here, for example, they sound very boring and not very professional. So we want to go to the left, probably around here. And once you're happy with the result, just hit accept. And now let me show you the second method. What you want to do is go to the grid once again and choose 1-2 step or 1/3 step, or even the above. I'm gonna go with 1-2 step right now. And we're gonna find the place we want to add the rolls, and simply we're gonna shorten the notes and add new ones too, because right now we have more bars to work with. And if you want to do that in a faster way, you can go to that paint tool right here and simply paint the notes. And usually, if I want to keep things simple, I stick to the first 2 bars of my pattern, and I simply copy and paste to the rest of the bars. But as you will hear later on the beat, we have this sound right here. Now this 808 pattern does not go alongside our hi-hat pattern at the end, and the way to fix that is to delete those last notes on the hi-hat, go to the grid, hit 1/3 beat, and now we have 3 notes, and if you add them, it's gonna sound like this. So that is a great way to add a more unique bounce to your beat. So I'm gonna copy and paste to the rest of the bars, and let's hear our pattern so far. So what we're gonna do right now is go to one of our rolls, and as you will hear, they sound a bit harsh when it comes to the rolls, and what we can do is highlight our roll notes, and simply by holding Alt and taking down the mouse wheel, we decrease the velocity of the notes. Another unique way to lower the velocity of your notes is by highlighting them and slowly decreasing them like this. And that is gonna add a fade out effect on the hi-hat rolls. But we can do the alternative way, which is starting from the lower velocity and going all the way up. And that is gonna create more of a reverse effect. Another thing we can do is highlight multiple notes and go to these tools right here and hit randomize, and now we can randomize their velocity, and let's see how it sounds. Another thing we can do is change the pan of the notes, which we can do by going to the control right here and go to note pan, and now we can change the panning of the notes. But honestly, this is not something that I do very often, but if I would do that, I would highlight the notes, go to the tools once again, hit randomize again, and instead of tweaking the velocity, I'm gonna tweak the pan right here. And I'm gonna click bipolar so it jumps from left to right in an easier way. But honestly, I'm not a fan of panning my hi-hat, so I'm not gonna do that. So now we're gonna change the pitch of the hi-hat notes, and the easiest way to do that is by highlighting the note and just simply taking it down to a lower note. But obviously there is another way to switch the pitch of your notes, and it's gonna also create a more unique effect. Now what you wanna do first is highlight the notes you wanna pitch, go to controls, note find pitch, and start by slowly going down on the pitch. Or you can even go more crazy and actually start from a high pitch like this and slowly go down. That adds a really nice and unique bounce to the whole beat. Okay, so now I'm gonna give a last listen to my close hi-hat pattern, and once I'm happy with the result, I'm gonna send it to the mixer to add some effects to it. Okay, now that we are on the mixing stage of the hi-hat, I'm gonna add some effects to spice it up even more. Now obviously the effects I'm about to show are more optional and you're not forced to put them in any way, but it's great to know them if you want to spice up the beat a bit more. So the first one I'm gonna add is gonna be halftime, and usually the effect sounds very harsh like this. But this is not what we want to achieve. The first thing I'm gonna do is go right here to the left knob, and I'm gonna set it to effects, and I'm also gonna take down the mix, usually lower than 20%, because we want the halftime effect to be barely audible. Second effect is gonna be a great way to make your hi-hats pop just a bit more. Specifically, you can add your favorite distortion plugin. My favorite one is Fast Dist, which is stock inside FL. And what I'm gonna do is go right here and find the mix knob, and I'm gonna take it down and slowly increase it until I get a harder hi-hat sound. The next effect I'm gonna add is gonna be chorus, and once again we're gonna take down the mix knob. And another really nice effect that you wanna add sadly is gonna be a flanger. Last but not least, I'm gonna add a free plugin which is called Finisher Micro. You have seen me using it a lot of times, but it's usually for the default effect. But this time I'm gonna hit this knob right here, and we're gonna choose this Space Grinder preset right here. And I'm gonna slowly tweak the knob until I get the effect that I like. Okay, so now that we are done with the closed hi-hats, let's move on to the open hi-hat right here. The first thing I'm gonna do is go to my envelopes right here, and I'm gonna set the envelopes like this. It's pretty much like tweaking your 808s. That way the open hi-hat note lasts as long as we press it. Okay, so I'm gonna lay down a very simple pattern for the beginning, which is gonna be following the 808 pattern. Now the reason why I chose to set the envelopes like I showed you is because we can add very short notes right now that is gonna add more to the bounce of the beat. But to be honest with you, this really takes away the energy from the main close hi-hat. So what I'm gonna do is delete these notes right here, and I'm only gonna keep these ones right here because they blend nicely with the 808. Now another cool trick we can do with the open hi-hat is to actually duplicate it like this. Go to the duplicate, hit reverse, use this start offset knob right here to take it to the beginning of the open hi-hat. And now we have a reverse open hat that we are gonna add before the snare or clap hits. So that was pretty much everything I know for closed and open hi-hats. I hope you found this video useful. If you did so, make sure you subscribe and like the vid. And if you think I forgot any technique, make sure you let me know down in the comments. So yeah, right now I'm gonna play the full beat at the end, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.